Hello, I am Devina, and hello to all of you, very bold, beautiful, and highly evolved souls. Did I say brilliant? Brilliant. And today I'm going to talk about my current job hunt. And if you are job hunting, it is one of the worst things if you have CPTSD because it absolutely will reflect and will send you into flashbacks. Or at least it is me sending me into ongoing flashbacks to my childhood of fear and desperation, deep shame, and hopelessness. It can be very demoralizing to be, constantly feeling like you're being rejected, feeling like you're not enough. And this is what the narcissist wants you to feel. And this is also what can be repeated, of course, in a job hunt when you're applying and just feeling like no one is accepting you. So um, it can be very, very triggering. So every time a narcissistic parent faces a situation with their child that they don't know how to handle because they have no emotional intelligence or maturity, they will shame and blame the child. They will turn it onto their child. Of course, you already know this, but I just sometimes need to remind myself over and over and over that this is what happened to me, that there was nothing wrong with me, that I was a sweet and beautiful, lovely little child. I was intelligent and curious and loving and determined. And um, because I've seen babies, I've been with babies, I've been with toddlers, and every child I've ever been with is exceptional, is blowing my mind, is, just a delight to be with. And, you know, our parents could not give us this sense of you are a delight to be with. Instead, it was like every time they felt like they were failing, they felt like they were weak, they felt like they didn't know what to do. They turned it onto us, and they turned it especially onto the scapegoat, shaming and blaming that child, what's wrong with you? What's this bad behavior? What's that scowl on your face? Um, on and on. Why are you doing it like that? You should know better. How come you're crying? You could be happy if you wanted to. Don't cry. Calm down. That's enough. And on and on. You're too sensitive. You're being annoying. You're being a suck. These are all phrases I've heard from parents. And I'm sure like I don't remember my childhood, but and on and on. Like, what were you thinking? Um, you don't have to be nervous. I could go on, and maybe I'll make a whole nother video with that. But anyway, so we get the idea that we are not enough and that nothing we can do is enough for our narcissistic parent. And we try and we try and we fawn and we please and we change ourselves and we alter ourselves. We change our behavior and we try this and we try that and we try so hard. And it is so exhausting because we can never be enough. And so our parents, our narcissistic parents, drive us to a place of desperation. And this is what has been come up for me in my job hunt, just absolute abject terror and desperation. Like, oh my God, if I don't get hired somewhere, I'm going to go homeless, right? And this is what we faced in our childhood. If I don't please this parent, they could withdraw all care from me. We don't know. We don't know as children. If we don't trust our parents, we don't know what they're going to do one minute to the next. It is terrifying. One minute, you know, maybe they're reading us a book, and the next minute we feel like we're going to get kicked out the door. And so we always are on edge in terror, feeling like we could be rejected and thrown out on the street, literally. And as a child, we have this sense of one and only, like my parents are the one and only. And especially if you're raised by your mother, or well, maybe if it was your father or your uncle or whatever, that was your one and only caregiver, the person who was your primary caregiver. And if we don't get acceptance and approval from this person, I will die. I will be rejected and I will die. And so our only choice is to compromise our integrity. I mean, it's not even a choice. As I've said before, this is not a choice. We have to do this, or, you know, we would probably go into some sort of psychosis because we wouldn't have any kind of connection with our caregiver. So we can also get this idea of like this one and only. And I've noticed this in my job hunt, like this is the one, this is the one. And I come across this job, it has to be this one. And if it's not this one, I'm gonna die. Like it's just this very background kind of terror. Um, and so that can happen in relationships too. Get this like this is the one and only. And if I don't get this, no one else will accept me, no one else will care for me. And I will be an outcast or I will die. You know, humans need humans to live. So it's one of the worst things you can experience as a human is to be rejected by your tribe. Because if you're rejected by your tribe, you're not going to live, right? And in this world, we all are interdependent on each other. We depend on somebody to pay us. Either even if you have your own business, you're depending on your sort of provider, and it can change all the time. But we get this idea that it's one and only because of our childhood, because of these nuclear families that we grow up in. So it can be a highly, highly terrifying thing to be job hunting, extremely, extremely triggering. So if you're there, I'm sending you like just big hugs of compassion because this has been the most hellish couple of months, like not the hellish, but definitely up there. And also I find myself like I've gone to interviews and then the fawning it just clicks on automatically. It's like I have no control over it. It just goes boom. And suddenly I'm in this interview and yeah, it's not really funny. It's like it's so painful. It's so freaking painful to be sitting there. I'm applying to a job as a dishwasher and I'm going, yeah, that would be great. And that would be fine. And I'm looking around the restaurant like, sure, yeah, okay. And I'm agreeing to everything. And I'm just being like really trying to be peppy and like agreeable and please like me, please hire me. And I feel so pathetic afterwards. And I see myself doing this. But of course, then I, give myself lots of love and say, it's not your fault. This is just like the programming that comes out in a job hunt. Like you can go into like a lot of fawning behaviors. Um, I notice myself like straight up lying about things like, can you do this? And I'm like, yeah, I could do that. When actually I can't. Or like, how was that commute? And I'm like, oh yeah, it was fine. And actually it kind of sucked because I had to take 3 modes of transportation to get there. Um, yeah, so a narcissist like really like twists up your your mind and yeah, it's just I just keep reflecting on how horrendous this kind of abuse is and how long it's taken me just to get here, and I don't see an end in sight yet. I've been so hopeful that I kept thinking, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to the place where I'm healed and awakened and free of the shame and the fear. And it's like a fountain. It's like a nonstop fountain just coming up again and again. Fear, shame, hopelessness, more terror, rage, grief, on just like an endless freaking fountain, like a bottomless well of emotional pain. So if you're going through this, I just want to let you know that this is normal, unfortunately, really unfortunately. It supremely sucks. And yeah, it's a horrible thing to feel so rejected, so unwanted by your own parents, by the people who brought you into the world. And yeah, job hunting can absolutely bring this back, this deep sense of feeling rejected, feeling like a reject, feeling defective, feeling so unwanted, so undesirable. Like your parents acted like they didn't like you. Like narcissists have so much contempt and they just, they're just vomiting it onto you, the contempt, the disgust, and their anger. And yeah, it is, it is despicable what they did to you. Like, what is wrong with them, right? They told us, what's wrong with you? No, what's wrong with you that you can't empathize with your child? What's wrong with you that you can't comfort your child when they're crying? What's wrong with you? I'm talking to narcissist parent that's not here, an imaginary narcissistic parent. What's wrong with you that you can't take some patience and help and support your child? What's wrong with you that you're not genuinely interested and curious in who your child is and helping them to foster their growth, their strengths, their skills and gifts? What's wrong with the parent, the narcissistic parents? What's wrong with you? I just want to be really careful that I'm not directing it to you because you're beautiful and amazing. um so it can be helpful to do that too. I was just doing that this morning as a sort of role play. You can imagine your parents sitting in the chair and like get back at them. Like, what's wrong with you that you were blaming me for being too sensitive? You were the one that had no freaking empathy. You're the one that had no ability to attune, so you can like stick it back to them because they deserve it. Anyway, this is what I had to say today. And yeah, I just constantly just want to say this is excruciating, and if you're going through excruciating hellish pain, then you are healing and awakening, as much as that sucks. So wishing you so many blessings, and I hope you're finding some moments of peace and relief in your day, um, and sending you hugs if they're welcomed. And I am Davina at Boldness Blooming. Thank you always for watching.